In Poland, 2 men were arrested for using radios to interfere with their mass transit train system. And the article doesn't say what radio they used, but I wonder if you guys could guess this. So I love these news story articles that have anything to do with radio. I do ham radio, GMRS radio, CB radio. This one doesn't specify what type of radio was used. It just says 2 Polish men arrested for radio hack that disrupts trains. This is on wired.com, okay, and I will share the link in the description below so you guys can go read more about this. The top part of the article talks about a cyber attack, cryptocurrency, etc., and then it starts right here. Last weekend, someone, more on that later, successfully disrupted more than 20 trains in Poland. The incidents were originally described as a cyber attack, but it actually was something much simpler, a radio hack. We're not high-tech here, guys. Using equipment that can cost as little as $30. Hint, hint. The attack exploited the train's unencrypted radio system to cause them to perform an emergency stop. When more than 20 trains in Poland were brought to a halt last weekend in what was described as a cyber attack, all eyes turned to Russia. After all, Poland's rails serve as a key piece of infrastructure for supporting Ukraine's war effort. But as we reported a day later, the disruption had been caused not through any sophisticated cyber intrusion, but through a simple radio hack that sent a radio stop command, probably a DTMF tone, I would guess, to the Polish trains over an unencrypted and unauthenticated system. So in other words, they don't have encryption, and unauthenticated means that your radio doesn't have to register with their network in order to key up and be recognized by the system. The frequencies are known, the tones are known, the equipment is cheap. Polish-speaking cybersecurity researcher Lukasz Olenjenk, I know I'm saying that wrong, apologies, told Wired everybody could do this, even teenagers trolling. Okay. Not teenagers exactly, but 20-somethings. This week, Polish police arrested a 24-year-old man and a 29-year-old man, both Polish citizens, who allegedly carried out a radio train hack. One of the 2 men, based in the city of Białystok, near the border of Belarus, was a police officer. One of the 2 men was a police officer. Whoa! Amateur radio equipment was found in one of their apartments, according to Poland's RMF radio, where the younger man was found reportedly in a drunken state. I probably would blame a couple of guys I know for this, but they're not in Poland right now, so we'll just kind of bypass that. The motives for the 2 men's train's sabotage is still far from clear, especially given that between the radio stop commands, they also broadcasted the Russian national anthem and a clip of a speech by President Vladimir Putin. It's too early to rule out Russian government involvement, but it's also very possible that the hack was an extremely ill-advised political statement or prank. $30 radio that's easily attainable. What do you think? I'm going to guess that Amazon has a Polish version of their website where you can order stuff for delivery in Poland, and someone went out and bought Fang. Now, Fang is technically, it is and it is not a amateur radio equipment. It's no secret that Baofeng targets the ham radio community with their UV5R, UV82, several other models of Baofeng radios. They also have some GMRS-only radios. They also have some commercial-only radios. They have a large line of radios for many different services, but the amateur radio community is largely targeted when it comes to Baofeng. Now, I don't know that these guys had Baofengs. I don't know. It doesn't say. It just says they are easily obtained and they cost about $30 a pop. What do you think it might be? I mean, there's other radios out there that are cheap and you can get and you can key up and type DTMF tones into the pad. So the lesson here is to change frequencies and don't publish your frequencies, or to change your tones and don't publish that, or to just get like some sort of encryption system, which, let's face it, is expensive. It's expensive. I don't know. These 2 guys were arrested for this radio hack. Presumably, I mean, Poland, they don't mess around over there. You could probably do something like that here. Most of our systems in this country, in the USA, are either encrypted or some sort of authentication system exists. Some sort of handshake has to take place before you can just key up with some random radio on either an analog or a digital network. So something like that here is more unlikely, but not impossible. It's not impossible you could do something like this. But to have it just wide open, I think it's really great of the Polish police to have arrested someone so quickly after the fact, because it might make others think that they don't want any part of it if they were wanting to try something. And it does seem to be politically motivated with the tension between Ukraine and Russia right now, with the war going on between Ukraine and Russia right now. It does seem to be politically motivated. The fact that they were broadcasting the Russian national anthem makes me think that, yeah, I'm even more in favor of these guys getting arrested. But they didn't mess around. You know, everybody's always saying that the FCC doesn't do anything. You're not going to get arrested. They're not going to come to your house. You're not going to get fined, et cetera, et cetera. Apparently in Poland, that is not the case. I read this article, and I'm like, I like the fact that it didn't name the radio, because I'm like, I bet I know what that is. I bet I know what that is. So what do you think? Have you heard of this story? Have you heard of similar stories where a specific $30 radio has been used to interfere with a public transit system or some sort of system that runs on radio, but it's not actually a radio repeater or something, like a train? A train's not a radio repeater. A train's not a radio system, but it's controlled by radio. So they used a radio to disrupt this train. Put a comment below. Tell me what you think.